everyone, Mimikins here. Today's video is about the insect Glaive in the Monster Hunter Rise demo. After watching the reveal trailer for it, I was left disappointed and gutted for insect Glaive means, as I felt the new silkbind attacks didn't feel as significant as what other weapons received. So I was interested to try out for myself in the demo to see how these new abilities affect the insect Glaive, and how it generally plays. Utility is always much more important to me than a flashy move that serves no purpose. So while insect Glaive moves look basic, I am at the very least expecting them to improve my gameplay experience. There have been changes I've noticed while playing, and keybinds are slightly different compared to World. Most of the controls are in familiar places. Rising slash combo by pressing X, Wild Sweep combo by pressing A, Vault by pressing Z, R and B. Then you have the aerial combat. X in mid-air for aerial attack, A in mid-air for jumping advance slash, and B for your mid-air evades. Aerial attacks have been buffed damage-wise, however the ground combos still feel like they pull slightly ahead. Since the introduction of wire bug mechanics, they've changed the default key bindings for the kinsect. I find it very uncomfortable to use. To mark a target you press ZR, the same button as you'd expect from World. For kinsect fire you press ZR and R at the same time, which is the two shoulder buttons on the same side, and it feels really awkward. I'm not sure about you guys, but I normally use my index finger to switch between pressing both shoulder buttons, so in order to use this move, I need to change the way I hold a controller, and I don't like it. World's controls felt much more natural, and although it was a little awkward for clutch clawing, it didn't feel nearly as bad as this for me at least. Kinsect Harvest is ZR and X, Kinsect Recall is ZR and A. I can live with those ones. There is a type 2 settings for controls, but it changes where other ability locations are as well. I just want the ability to configure the controls to what I feel is comfortable and enjoyable. While I was playing and fumbling around with the controls, I found out you could press ZR next to a monster body part to mark it. I also noticed I kept pressing Harvest and Recall, and after several attempts I ended up with all three of the buffs, without having to target each one individually. I think this could be down to the way the kinsect travelled into the monster. So you could manipulate this as a double-edged sword. Sometimes you don't get the buffs you want. We were only given one kinsect to try out and it was really slow. I expect when the game launches you will have access to varying kinsects similar to World. The kinsect allows you to gather three types of extract: red, white and orange. Which colour you extract depends on the monster body part. Each time you fire the kinsect at the monster and hit a body part, a mist will appear indicating the colour of buff you will get. Then you will need to harvest it and recall it to apply the buff to yourself. However, as I mentioned before, if your kinsect doesn't get a clear shot of the body part, you can end up harvesting another colour. Red boosts attack, white increases movement, speed and jump height, and orange gives knockback protection. You can also absorb multiple colours to gain extra effects. When I had all three buffs on, I also noticed they now give you earplugs, which means you don't need to dedicate space in your build to slot these in. No longer does the kinsect auto-attack until it runs out of stamina, requiring you to remark the monster. The mark stays up for as long as your weapon doesn't get sheathed, and you can withdraw, send out your kinsect manually. This makes it so you can mark a hard to target spot of the monster and ensure you get the correct kinsect buff when you need it. You can also repeatedly press ZR and X to make the kinsect attack, which could be useful for times when you're unable to get up close to a monster for whatever reason. You're probably wondering where the green buff has gone. Well, this has been changed to a silkbind attack move, Recall Kinsect. You activate this by pressing ZL and A. It calls your kinsect back while you evade. As it returns, it will perform a spinning attack that will scatter healing extracts. Its stamina will fully recover once it gets back to its master. This provides a good invulnerability window to the insect Glaive. The healing aspect requires you to be close to the monster, and the heal is a good amount, especially for how often you can use it since it only costs one wire bug charge. Fully healing the kinsect stamina is also a nice bonus. I use this move often during ground combos. It can be followed up with aerial attacks or dodges if you're quick enough, which makes transitioning between the two combat styles quite seamless. The second silkbind attack is Silkbind Vault. You press Z, L and X and it will perform a leaping attack, which you can follow up with X for a jumping slash, A for a jumping advance slash, or B for a mid-air evade. This one is more of a gap closer and pretty similar to the normal vault skill that Insect Glaive already has. However, this one feels a little faster and you can travel further. This one can also be used in mid-air, allowing you to travel quite some distance at speed. I actually like both these silkbinds a lot more in the demo than I did when I first saw them in the reveal trailer. Although they aren't super flashy like other weapons, they have lots of utility. Back in October we saw a clip on the Monster Hunter Twitter showing the Insect Glaive performing a dive attack with a wire bug, similar to Descending Thrust in Iceborne. I couldn't find this attack in the demo. It could be something you have to unlock in the retail version of the game. Capcom have been keeping some things hidden. Another pretty unique thing Insect Glaive can do is climb almost anywhere on the map. Just vault and press direction on the stick and B. You can even hang off the side of a cliff to restore your stamina. It's probably one of the best weapons to do some gathering on, as you won't have to wait for wirebug charges to come back and can reach high spots. This weapon is going to make it really easy to collect endemic life to aid you on your hunt. Overall, my only real gripe with the Insect Glaive is some of the default button configurations which feel uncomfortable to use. Capcom really need to allow players to customize their own button layout in a user-friendly manner, so players can choose what feels comfortable and is more accessible for all types of players. While I understand they change buttons around due to the wire bug, having two different buttons to aim feels clunky, and I see no reason why they couldn't have streamlined it better. The whole kinsect experience was made more painful by the fact it was so slow. Hopefully this is just one of the weaker starting off bugs, because it didn't feel like it did much. The hunter's notes say that kinsects can auto-attack and leave exploding dust, which we didn't see in the demo. I actually enjoyed the silkbind attacks a lot more than I thought I would. They may not be super flashy but offer a lot of utility. I especially enjoyed the backward vault silkbind recall kinsect, which offers a dodge, iframes, a heal, an additional extract and recovering kinsect stamina. It's really useful and something that flows really well with the Insect Glaive gameplay. There were some abilities unavailable in the demo, such as the downward thrust, which we have seen in official Rise footage. I found exploring the landscape and climbing cliffs fun. The ability to have earplugs from your kinsects is a very nice quality of life change. I will still be playing Insect Glaive when the game launches. There are obviously things missing in the demo, and the small selection of monsters available weren't the best to utilise the aerial combat of the Glaive. So while I don't think it will be drastically different, it will be fun. Thanks for watching, please support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.